Hello and welcome to the All to Playful podcast. This is episode 2. I'm Charlie Horner.
And I'm Kieran Lawler.
And today we're going to be discussing the first round of fixtures of the Championship season, which is coming up on Saturday. Cannot wait, the football's back after a long break. Yeah,
Friday, the football's back a day earlier than you were expecting.
Yeah, which is always good. Yeah, can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely missed it. I know the Women's World Cup filled the void for a little bit, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. But I'm ready for some week-on-week action.
Yeah, it doesn't quite beat the regular Saturday schedule.
Exactly, building up the wacky-acky on a Friday.
Yeah.
Ready for it all to go crashing down by Saturday at 3 p.m.
Yeah, all your teams losing by 3:15.
Yeah, literally.
But now you mentioned Friday night, I feel like we should tackle the Friday night fixture, which is at Kenilworth Road, Luton versus Middlesbrough. Luton just been promoted. Middlesbrough got big expectations for the season.
It's a decent curtain raiser, to be honest. I think Middlesbrough come in with the reputation, and I think if you're fans of the Championship and you don't really delve away from it, for example, if you've been in the Championship for a while, like someone like Hull, we've been in it a while, Hull, we've obviously been up, but the Championship's more our level, like I watch. Luton are a bit of an unknown quantity to most teams in the league, unless you watch League One like yourself. But I'd say to most teams, no one really knows what to expect from them. They can watch all the tape they want, but this could be a real good like advert for the Championship.
Yeah, what I'm expecting is a hell of a good atmosphere at Kenilworth Road. And it's a Friday night under the lights, Sky TV are there. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. The fans are going to be up for it. It's the first game back in the Championship for about 12 years, I think. Maybe even a bit longer, because they've been on this whole journey down from the Championship down to the National League, and now they've made their way back. And I think it's a real culmination of the return and the resurgence of Luton Town, and it's going to be a real joyous occasion for the fans. So I'm kind of feeling that maybe that energy from the fans is going to reflect on the pitch.
I do, but you've also got to look at the quality in the squad and the Championship experience. Some of them may very well, as it can add to the occasion, it can also put a little bit more pressure. For example, Middlesbrough have done seasons in this league for a while now, and they know how it feels and stuff like that. And they've been in tough atmospheres in the time. But I do think I don't think Luton have got a massive ground, so I think it'll properly reverberate around.
Yeah, it's not massive, but it's very tight. It's very compact, yes. and the atmosphere is going to reverberate, and it's
somewhere you wouldn't want to go on an away day where everyone's up for it.
Yeah. It's kind of like QPR when you go down there and it's really close to the pitch, and the pitch is really small as well. It's not going to be easy for Middlesbrough to come and just dominate, I think.
How football should be enjoyed, by the way, not let's put a racetrack round and massive open space where no one can hear a chant going. I honestly cannot wait.
It's going to be a great atmosphere. But in terms of the actual game, obviously Middlesbrough coming with the pedigree, with the quality of players, the solid defence, the flair going forward. How do you see it going?
I think there's going to be. I think you will see a slight gap in quality between Middlesbrough and Luton Town. I think Middlesbrough will probably enjoy a lot of the ball, I can imagine, but I can also imagine as we've already mentioned, the crowd willing Luton forward, and I think Luton will play some really good stuff. I think it'll be a good showing for them on their first time out in the Championship for a good long while. And as I say, I've not watched much of Luton Town, so I can't tell you what their style of play is. I think, as you've said to me, they play some really nice passing stuff. And
to be fair, I think their approach will probably be counter-attacking football. I can see that, just because of the quality, the gap in quality, like you say. They're going to really be looking to utilise Ryan Tunnicliffe in the middle, who I kind of see, being a Sunderland fan, I kind of see a little bit of Lee Cattermole in there. He's just going to break up the play and distribute out wide to those kind of quicker players who can get him up the pitch and start those counter-attacks.
I do think he'll be their linchpin in the middle. I feel like, because he's had experience in the I feel everything will go through him. He will get the ball back and he will anchor the midfield, but he will also pick them passes, get them in behind. But their striker, the big man up top, is it Collins?
Yeah, James Collins.
Yeah, I think he might be crucial to, for example, if they are under immense pressure, which I think Middlesbrough will place on them because of the quality they've got. The outball to him.
Yeah, it's definitely a Route 1 approach. You've got that plan B.
Yeah, and I think him, with the fluid movement around him, could cause problems for Middlesbrough. I don't see it being an easy victory, and I don't see it being a victory. Sneak preview into what my prediction is, but...
Yeah, no, I agree with you, actually. And I think Luton are going to come out of the stops really quickly and really try and put the pressure on Middlesbrough early and get that crowd going.
I was going to say, I think Middlesbrough may have to weather an early storm before they properly gain control of the game, which I think they will do.
Yeah. But like I say, Middlesbrough, if you look at the squad, Son Bolonga up there, George Friend at left back, who's such professionals who can just calm the play down, get the ball on the floor, play some nice stuff, and I do worry a little bit in that respect for Luton, but I just feel like it's going to be a draw. I've got a 1-1.
We've got identical scores for the first game because I've also gone for a 1-1. I think Middlesbrough will score first. I know this is a bit more detailed than maybe required, but I think Middlesbrough will score first. But I think the whole crowd and everything will properly get behind Luton, and I think they will the way back into the game.
Yeah, and just because we've got a lot of games to get through. We've got Barnsley versus Fulham next, another promoted team.
Yeah.
I've predicted them to do quite well this season. However, you've probably got the toughest start you could get, albeit you're at home, so that's a bit of an advantage.
Oh well, yeah. Odds on to be league champions that they're facing, though, to be honest, and
yeah,
I think very likely champions of the Championship this year.
First outing of Knockout and Caballero
and Scott Parker.
Scott Parker
in the dugout,
Championship,
yeah.
in his full-time role.
Be interesting to see what they've been working on, because I don't think he could really get going with the games he had left in the Premier League. He was facing an uphill battle from the start, but after a summer it'd be nice to see what effect it's had on them, and if they've still, for example, last season it was shocking. I'm sorry, to spend 100 million and go down. I think it would be hard to lift the players up from that, but I do think Scott Parker's the man.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what style of play he plays, because if you look at some of the players that you've got a few different options. You could go a bit of Route 1 into Mitrovic. Can knock it down for some of these, Tom Kearney, your Cavalleros, and your Knockouts, just to play with goal. But then also with those players, you've got the option to play nice football on the floor, slower build-up play.
It will be interesting to see Mitrovic, as I mentioned in the predictions video up again our podcast, in that really young back four.
Yeah,
because they're going to have to deal with these. I'm going to call him a seasoned veteran of the English leagues at this point, because he's been here for a good couple of years and he's been successful. So I think that is a massive test. For that to be your first striker to come up against in this league, it's going to be a rude awakening, I think, for that back four.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough day for Barnsley. I've gone for a comprehensive Fulham victory of 3-1. I think Barnsley will get a goal. Because I feel like that Fulham defence, you can get at it if there's an
we saw that last year, to be fair.
Yeah, there's definitely ways to get at it, but 3-1. I think it's going to be quite comfortable.
I actually don't see Barnsley scoring. Actually have, but I do have it a comprehensive 2-0 to Fulham. As much as we've mentioned the Luton home field advantage, I think Fulham have too much quality.
Yeah.
Middlesbrough have quality, but they're nowhere near the level of a Fulham, and I think they'll pick them apart quite easily.
Yeah, I agree. Blackburn Charlton, the final promoted club. I feel like this is going to be a bit of an interesting game.
Yeah.
This is a good matchup. It's a good test for Charlton it's like a litmus test to see how they're going to do in the league this season. It's a decent side, but you don't know what you're going to get with Blackburn.
I was going to say, it's a decent opening game. Obviously, in an opening game, I think Charlton fans would have preferred this one to be at home. That could have been a real good chance to get off the board straight away. But if it's away, as you said, it'll be a real nice a gauge to where they stand in this league. And I don't want to say they're going to be in a relegation battle from day one, but if you get comprehensively beaten by Blackburn on the opening day at, say, 3 or 4-0, I'm not saying they will, but that's book our ideas up now. We need to.
It's a bit of a confidence damager, isn't it? Like if you go and get levered off Blackburn.
I know, it's a rude awakening because everyone comes on a fresh start and they'll be coming positive because they've just got promoted, they got through via the playoffs, but the aura around the club isn't saying they just got promoted via the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very, very strange situation.
It is because we all know about the turbulence off the pitch at Charlton, but that on the pitch they play with such confidence, with such passion that you could see an upset. And Charlton are very dangerous going forward, as we've seen. Lyle Taylor, who he's not only is he a clinical player, he's very unpredictable. You don't know where he's going to go. You don't know whether he's going to go to the left, to the right. Whether he's he's going to run the channels.
I think he's crucial.
Go on, sorry. The one thing you are certain with, he's going to score goals.
I was going to say, I think he's crucial to everything good about Charlton.
Yeah.
Him and Aribo last year, I think, was the pure reason they went up.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I think. Unfortunately, they've lost Aribo now.
Yeah. I don't think they managed to re-sign Josh Cullen either from West Ham. So they've got gaps in the side, but if you've got Taylor up front and you can just create a chance for him, he's going to take it. But how do you see this going?
I tossed and turned about this one for a long time. I'm going to go 0-0. I'm going to go 0-0.
Yeah, okay.
As much as it is going to be an interesting game, I feel like they may just cancel each other out on just this occasion. I don't know why I'm saying that way. And as we've said, we've mentioned Danny Graham's goals, we mentioned Lyle Taylor's goal, Ben Burton's goals. So I've decided to go with no goals, very logically, and I've got 0-0.
I've taken a different stance. Again, a little bit similar to Fulham and Barnes. I think Blackburn might just edge out Charlton, just in terms of it's the home crowd. I think there is a bit of a buzz around Blackburn at the minute. The fans are kind of expecting to push up the league a little bit, and as long as he's still got Bradley Dack. He's a game changer, isn't he? If you're looking for a game changer in this league or in any league, you go towards Bradley Dack as being right up there. So I've gone for a 2-1 win for Blackburn, but I could easily see the points being shared there.
No, and I think it's one of them on this season opener. I feel like with these two teams, none of them will want to lose their opening game. I feel like it's one of them where they're not going to take a draw as a victory. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying none of these teams want to leave that game without getting something. Blackburn will feel they need to get something because they're at home.
Yeah.
And Charlton will look at this as an away game where, for example, if you're playing away at Fulham, sometimes it's not expected to get a point. But I feel here
you can nick a point.
Yeah, exactly, literally.
We could get something in.
So I feel they'd rather not push too much for the victory and just settle with a point and move on to the next one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, moving on. So the next game, and a team that we are touting for quite big things this season, against a team that we think are going to struggle. It's Brentford versus Birmingham at Griffin Park. The first game of the last game of the season. Not the first game of the last season at Griffin Park for Brentford. How do you see this one going?
Well, as we've suddenly become the Brentford fan podcast,
yeah.
The Brentford fan club, but no. Comprehensive. I just don't. I like for other games I've been looking at, and this is no offence to Birmingham because we have slagged you right off. But
yeah.
I just don't see this going any other way, unless we've been falsely thinking that Brentford are going to do amazing.
Maybe. Yeah,
and these new signings won't blend, and it all goes wrong.
Yeah. We've made no secret on this podcast already that we really do think that Brentford are onto something here with the style of play, with the players, with the business model off the pitch. But you never know.
I was about to say we could be completely wrong, and all this has been in vain, and they get smashed by Birmingham.
At the end of the day, Pep Clotet knows the players. He was there last season.
Yeah.
Under Gary Monk, so it might. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Birmingham might do something. I mean, I haven't predicted it.
No.
I've got Brentford to win 3-0. But
so bad. I've gone with the exact same. I've gone with 3-0 to Brentford.
But Birmingham could do something.
I know.
I mean,
I am sorry, Birmingham.
Yeah. If there's any Birmingham fans, listen. It's nothing against you. It really isn't.
It's not you. It's me. Honestly.
But yeah, just with the lack of goals with Che Adams, and Che Adams I thought I still think he's a deadly finisher.
This
Just
is
having him in your side. And when at the start of last season, when Birmingham were scoring 3 against quite a lot of teams, they were scoring 3 goals a game quite often, and it was down mainly to Che Adams.
and
I can't see him scoring many goals. So.
and Jota as well creating as they've lost him as well.
Yeah,
That's the only reason I can't see them scoring too many goals this season. But as I say, I think Brentford are too good for them on this occasion.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with bias or anything. I do think Brentford are going to win 3-0. I've gone with the exact same as you.
They're going to blitz them away. Okay, now moving on to something which could be a bit more of a close encounter. It's another tough place to go on an away day, and Preston have got to do just that. They've got to go to Millwall.
Yeah, now this one is...
This is contentious because we've all got different opinions of how Preston are going to do this season. I think they're going to be quite high up the table, and you think perhaps they're going to be to the lower mid-table kind of area.
But we both predicted Millwall to have the same sort of struggle.
Yeah.
So again, this is another one that was difficult for me. It could go either way. It really could. Because as I've said, for example, you look at Millwall's squad and it's probably not strong enough in this league. But there's something about that club. It strikes fear, but people don't want to go there. People don't want to go to the Den. Even the big teams don't want to go. We saw how much Brighton struggled in the Cup last year. They made it hell. Legitimate hell.
Yeah, I think it's a similar one to Luton, where it's going to be a big atmosphere. First game of the season, they're going to be right up for it, those Millwall Ultras. And I think they can do something. I think they can cause an upset. They're very pragmatic. And they're very route one. Those big balls up to Matt Smith, the new signing, on the knockdowns, the flick-ons. You can get a goal from that. And I just think they're going to have too much physically for Preston. I think they're going to bully him off the pitch. Really. I mean, we saw if you go back to the game at the KCON.
We watched, yes.
Well, we and Hull were very lucky really to come away with the victory there, because the last 20-25 minutes they were just peppering the box with balls, and they had everyone was about 6'9", and it was insane.
They brought on the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
7 people in the box, all over 7 feet.
Yeah, it really was something to behold and to watch, and I think they're going to cause a lot of teams a lot of problems this season with those big lads coming in, the big balls coming into the box, and I just think they're going to bully Preston off the pitch. So I've gone for a 1-0 win for Millwall.
I've gone for 1-1. Even though I was the one that said Preston would do worse than you, I've gone for a more positive result for Preston. I do think Millwall will bully them off, but I also do think Preston are the better side. So I do see it being a clash of styles and a clash of ways to play football in a weird sort of way.
Yeah.
But I do see Preston. I wouldn't say nicking a point, because I'd say them getting a point.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just go outside the M25 a little bit. Pop over to Reading, because they're playing Sheffield Wednesday, the opening day, and I'm not gonna lie. 2 teams that could struggle, 2 teams that could do all right. Sheffield Wednesday still managerless from what I can gather. I don't see much for this game. I'm just gonna, without much detail being put into it, I'm gonna say 0-0, because I'm not really too sure how this is gonna play out, and I mean it could be 3-3, but I've gone for a 0-0 because I'm just not too sure. I think for these 2 teams I need to watch a couple of games before I can gauge really how they're gonna do.
I do think it's one of them where when you're looking at the fixtures, for example, if you're looking at the fixtures like a week before with your mates, it's one you probably don't spot at first, because not that it's going to be a boring game by any means. It's 2 teams that go a bit under the radar. I know Sheffield Wednesday had their day, and Reading recently have struggled, but I feel like looking at the fixtures, it's another one. This is why I hate the Championship and love it at the same time. I genuinely didn't know which side to go on this, but I've gone with a 1-0 Sheffield Wednesday win.
Okay.
I don't see Reading struggles being over just yet. As much as they've got home field advantage, I'm winning myself over here. But I'm going to stick with me 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I could see it going either way, but I just can't pick between the two sides. Okay, next match, Stoke versus QPR. So two teams with high hopes for the season. A lot of new signings for either side. Stoke looking to impress. Nathan Jones trying to implement his new style of play with a lot of new signings. Got rid of the rotten core, so to say, and it's going to be a lot of high expectations of Stoke. How do you see this one going?
Well, I didn't actually have much hope for QPR, and then suddenly they woke up.
Over the weekend?
Yeah.
The podcast on Thursday. They could have, they took the time doing the transfers, didn't they? Because they made a few decent deals over the weekend.
Made the predictions this week, they'd have been top, do you know what I mean? No, the signing of Todd Kane, very jealous as a Hull fan.
Kane, Pugh, Hugel all over the weekend. That's
absolutely incredible weekend of business for if you're a QPR fan. But as I'm sure they will all help the team, and as much as I rate Pugh and Kane from watching them in real life, I like them both thoroughly. And Hugh Gills, I think, will have a very successful year. I just don't see them having the quality to beat Stoke on this occasion. I do think QPR, my standings of QPR have gone a little bit better with the business they did this weekend, but I don't see them being up there the way I think Stoke will be challenging this year.
Yeah, I think quite similar. Obviously, I saw quite a lot of Luton last season, and Nathan Jones was the manager who masterminded kind of a promotion. And he played really good football, and I can see him being quite relentless over pre-season, kind of implementing that style in at Stoke. And with some of the players that they brought in, I can see him doing quite well, and I think it's going to be quite a comfortable victory. Not comprehensive, but I've gone with a 2-1 win in front of the home crowd.
I've gone with 3-1.
Okay,
to Stoke, to be honest. I think Stoke. Do you know what's going to be weird? Seeing Stoke play a nice brand of football. It's going to feel strange from the old Pulis days.
Yeah.
Get Rory Delap back, you'd be fine. Honestly.
Yeah, I think, Easy and Hugel and Pugh can cause problems, but I see Stoke being too much and a bit too strong.
Yeah, no, I see Stoke having a quite successful year. We may very well be wrong, but
yeah. Alright, this next match, I'm going to let you do most of the talking because you're probably the more knowledgeable about this match than me.
Wigan versus Cardiff. Oh.
It's Swansea versus Hull City. So
of course,
take it away.
I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to it because there's so many unknowns. There is so many unknowns going into this game as a Hull fan. Eves might not even be fit for the first game. Really? I'll admit, Dicko has looked sharp in pre-season, and from watching us, I know it's pre-season, but I was watching us the other day in our final pre-season game against Doncaster, and our first goal, as I liked it, liquid football. Liquid football. But as I say, the unknowns, for example, Grant McCann, has he had enough time to get his style of play across to the players? Will they pick it up straight away? Will it take a couple of weeks to get going? Starting away is going to be difficult. And Swansea, they even caused problems. I know it was the cup, but they caused problems for Man City at the Liberty Stadium. However, we have been to Swansea before in the past, and we have picked up points. Obviously, different manager, different things like that, and a lot of things have changed since then. But for an opening day fixture, I see it being quite a tough one. I think we could have had a lot easier fixtures. We could have been at home. Do you want me to say my prediction, or could?
Yeah, no, go for it.
I feel so bad because I do want to be optimistic. 2-1 Swansea.
2-1. Oh, always the pessimist.
But
bit of a shame.
If you set your bar low, anything above that is a win.
I didn't follow that.
No.
That rule of thought. I just thought, you know what? I'm backing you boys.
Yes.
3-0 to Hull. Come on. In all honesty, I do worry about Hull defensively. But going forward, you're gonna cause a lot of teams a lot of problems. I mean, the 3-0 prediction was, a bit of a joke. But you could easily go over there and turn them over. You've still got Grosicki, you've still got Bowen. He's going to be.
He's not sure whether he's fit.
But if he's going to be there, it's a great option to put balls into the box. Or you've got Nuadicko getting the balls in behind because he's got quite a bit of pace on him.
That's what we have done in pre-season. I've seen a lot of is just pinging it in behind, and Dicko kind of turning back on himself, not driving at the thing. One thing I do worry about Dicko is he'll get a goal every 7 or so games after 15 or so shots. He's just not clinical enough for me as a striker. And as much as I, honest to God, would love to be so optimistic and go with 3-0, I think there's still a week to go. I can't see Bowen being with us. I really can't. And unfortunately, I obviously don't believe we're a one-man team. No football club in the world is a one-man team. But you take out Bowen from that squad, just the link up he has with Grosicki, they get along so well. And I'd love to be positive. Oh, do you know what? I'm changing it. 2-2. 2-2. Come on, the boys. Come on, the boys. Up the Tigers.
Yeah. Okay. From one Welsh team to another. Wigan versus Cardiff.
I'll let you speak on this. I need to get a drink.
Yeah. There's a lot of pressure on Cardiff, I think, to do quite well. Yeah. Just coming down. I still feel there's a bit of a bad taste in Cardiff fans and players and the management's mouths about the way that certain things went against them last season. And Wigan, for me, I feel like it's going to be another season of really grinding out results to stay in the league. So, obviously, the result I'm going to go for is a Cardiff victory. But I don't think it's going to be as easy as people might, go, oh, Wigan Cardiff. It's a certainty. I don't think that. But like a few of these other games that we've been talking about, I feel like in Bobby Reid, in Callum Patterson, there's a lot of quality in that Cardiff side that I think he's going to be too much for Wigan. And I like some of the signings they've made. I like Curtis Nelson at the back. I think if he gets a run of games, he's going to make that step up from League One to the Championship quite nicely. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game because again I don't really know how Cardiff are going to do because are they going to have the fight? I'm not too sure, but I feel like it's going to be a strong start for them.
I was going to say they've managed to keep quite a bit of the squad together. If I'm not one player I do think is a key, Victor Camarasa, who was on loan last year, was instrumental to even them being close to staying in the league. And as you say, the way it happened last year, with all the things that happened during the season, which is tough on any football club, to be literally in with a fight and some I'm going to say dodgy refereeing decisions.
Yeah.
That it will have an effect, but for me, do they still have Murphy? One of the Murphys at Cardiff. I think they have one of them, don't they?
I believe so.
Because I was going to say, I think he could coming up later, but he's not in my team. But he could be one to watch this year because sometimes even Mendes Lang as well. I completely forgot about because
he was very good in the promotion campaign a couple of years ago. He was decent in the Premier League.
This is the thing. When you're playing lower time in the Premier League, you don't. For example, when you go up as a key player in the Championship, people go, "Oh, he was fantastic," and then when you get to the Premier League and you're struggling, and you don't get as many goals because it's so much more difficult. Yeah, people just forget, like Bobby Reid, for example. You just forget how good they really are in the Championship. A bit harsh on Wigan. I've gone 3-0 Cardiff.
I've gone 2-0.
Oh,
and we'll get through this game quite quickly, even though it's going to be quite an interesting game. But we're just thinking about time. Nottingham Forest versus West Brom. I think it's the Saturday evening kickoff at the City Ground. Two big clubs, going to have big aspirations.
It's good choices for.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Good choice. Slaven Bilic's first game. Nottingham Forest manager's new game. Can't remember his name. I apologise.
It's over there. I just can't get it right now.
Yeah.
The man with the really weird win percentages. If what I remember.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be two teams who are really going to go for it, in my opinion, and they both got very dangerous players. If you think of, your Grabbans for Forest, and you've got your Sawyers for West Brom making his second debut for him. I've gone for a West Brom win just because again the unknown factor with Nottingham Forest, and I do think that throughout the side for West Brom they've just got quality in every area. Zahor, how is he going to get on in his debut? You know, I've gone 3-1. I've gone for 3-1.
Oh, I struggled with this one because I always like to home field advantage. As much people may believe it's not quite a thing, I do think people play better at home than they do away, and I struggled because it's not as if most games this season I'll pick West Brom to win because they're a strong side, but something's telling me that Nottingham Forest, they're not going to lie down, and they're a good enough side to pick up a win here. They really are. But as with you, I've gone 2-1 to West Brom.
That's fair enough. Okay, and we'll quickly whip through these last two games, even though, again, quite exciting games, and they've both been selected for TV.
The Monday one. Oof.
The Monday one's going to be good, but the Sunday one is Bristol City versus Leeds. And I'm really excited for this game. I think this is the game I'm most looking forward to across the weekend.
Oh, I'm going to have to go with Mondays.
In the Championship, of course. I'm very excited for the Sunderland game on Saturday. But in terms of the Championship, this game is going to be... It's going to be a big game. I think it's going to be a very exciting game. I'm predicting a lot of goals. The two very open attacking teams. Even though Leeds typically are quite strong at the back as well with that pressing system. They don't give the ball away very often. And if they do give the ball away, they hound the opposition for it back. Bristol City, a few good additions. I like Bentley in goal. They're always going to score goals at the other end. Leeds, I just feel like they're going to be a bit too strong for him. I've gone for a very open, exciting game. I've gone for a 3-2 victory for Leeds.
Oh, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
I haven't gone for a Leeds victory either. I feel Bristol. I know what I'm getting from Bristol, and Lee Johnson, who's been there now for 3.5 years, I think. And he's brought in players that he knows. He's brought back Callas, brought back De Silva. I see them winning 2-0, which is a brave move because I do see Leeds going up. And it's not me being biased at all. I do see Leeds going up. But I do think, genuinely, Bristol City this year, I think they'll be up there. And I think this would be a great way to kick off the campaign. And I think it'll bring a real bit of belief to Bristol this year. And as Leeds are going to be up there, and as I've said they will, I feel like they might teeter at the start, just off the back end of last year, and the demise in the playoffs, which is what it was. As we've mentioned, with coming down, it's difficult to get out of a lull. I think there'll be a few teething problems to begin with, and then Bielsa will get back going again, and they'll push for promotion.
Potentially, yeah. But it's going to be a big season for both these sides, both going for promotion.
It could very well be a draw. I mean,
potentially, yeah. Well, they're two very good sides, yeah. But the final game that we're going to preview today, the Monday night football. It's not really, but it is.
Yeah, it's my game of the weekend.
It's Huddersfield versus Derby. Two again. Okay, not unknown as in the fact that not both of them have new managers, but we didn't really see what Jan Siewert could bring to Huddersfield last season, just because they were so far behind everyone else, and there was no confidence, and let's face it, they weren't Premier League quality. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play, how they set up, and how they adapt to be back playing in the Championship. And then obviously contrasting with Derby, with Philip Cocu, how is he going to adapt to English football with a seriously depleted squad from what was there last season? So it's going to be a really interesting game. I haven't gone for anything too outlandish. I don't think it's going to be a particularly entertaining game. But I do feel that Huddersfield will just edge it out in a 1-0 victory, just because they're going to have the home support. They're going to be really going at them because they're desperate to see wins after not just last season, but they haven't really won too many football matches for the last 2 years. I just feel like they're going to be desperate to see a quick start to get the boys, ready for that playoff push. I've gone for a 1-0 victory. I just think Derby won't have enough. Potentially as well as Philip Koku coming in a little bit later, so they've not had such a big pre-season as everyone else. Yeah, I've gone with 1-0 to Huddersfield.
And I don't think Derby have replaced the amount of loans, like with, for example, with permanent deals of the loan signings of the Chelsea lads that have gone back. Harry Wilson, who's gone back as well. But for me, it'd be interesting to see how Jan Sievert's style of play, which again we couldn't see much of in the Premier League, but how that'll adapt to the Championship is a whole different league anyway. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see if his style of play works in the Championship. I see it being close actually in this one. I do see, for example, it's easy to have the premeditation about Huddersfield that, they're rubbish because of how we sit in the Premier League. Like, as much as it's strange if you watch football often, you know they're clearly a good side because they wouldn't have got there, but people just go, Huddersfield are rubbish, isn't it? But I think it's going to be a 1-1. I don't think they're going to get to see them win just yet because if you want to see it,
keep them on the edge of the seat.
If you want, that's it. You got to keep them coming back.
Yeah.
The need for a win, but if you want to get a win, you don't want to draw Derby on your first day. I think there's teams that you don't want to play on the opening day, and I think they're opening round of fixtures because they're not technically the opening day, but I think it's going to be 1-1. I think, as you said, I don't think it'll actually be that entertaining of a game. I just think it'll be two quality.
In Championship terms,
yes, yeah,
in very good quality sides,
yeah,
just battling it out.
Literally, I feel it'll be 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. One team will attack, the other one will attack. It literally will be not end to end as in exciting, just really tight 1-1.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's going to be a close game, and it's going to be a great opening round of fixtures in the Championship. I for one really cannot wait to see how it all unfolds.
There's some crackers in there.
Yeah, there really is, and we were going to do each of our kind of 11s of players to watch. And we're going to do it in a little bit more detail, but I just feel like we're currently as we're recording, we're a little bit pressed on time. So I feel like instead of just going into detail a little bit, perhaps we should just list how our 2-11s line up, and just say we don't have to do the work for you. You watch them and see how they are.
Yeah,
we picked them out. So
exactly. You go and look at a YouTube compilation and agree with every word we say.
So do you want to just reel off your 11?
Well, my goalkeeper, I've actually spelt his name wrong. I've gone with Gaia. It was meant to say Raya, but it says Gaia. So Raya from Brentford, signed from Blackburn, first game in a Brentford shirt, and not very young, but about 23. So
in goalkeeper terms.
Yeah, goalkeepers hit the prime later than everyone else. So I do think, again, without the Brentford bias, which may come back up, I'm going to go with Raya.
Yeah. Did you want to reel off your 11?
Oh, my whole 11. I thought it was going position by position. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm using unorthodox 2 left backs, but one's playing on the right. I don't care. This is my rules. Rico Henry from Brentford.
Believe it or not, take that whole shirt off.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm secretly a Brentford fan. Liam Lindsay at centre back. Was going to go with Pinnock, but he's from Brentford. So Lindsay from Stoke. See how he's going to make the step up. It'll be interesting. Alfie Mawson, because we didn't see much of him last year, and when he was with Swansea, he was a good centre back, threatening both boxes. Jay Da Silva has come back after his first year, and he's coming back again. He's going to play on the right in my system, but he's probably better on the left. Lee Johnson, take notes, please. In the middle, can't really say it's a ones to watch because he was impressive last year, but I think Calvin Phillips could have a real breakout year this year and be classed as the upper echelons of the Championship. Romain Sawyers moved recently. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Moved for quite a decent fee, I think, for the Championship.
Yeah, 3 million. Not too
nice to see him get some game time and see if he can really impress in that attacking midfield role. Matthias Jensen, absolutely world class on Football Manager. But no, a defensive midfielder coming in from Celta Vigo is young, but I feel like he could, in a couple of years, I'm going to make a prediction for Brentford again. I think he'll be their captain in 3 years' time. Oh, wow. Just making that statement. Okay. And then up front, because we've gone 4-3-3, Knock one side because, well...
He's Knock. Just watch him, he's going to be brilliant.
I was going to say, both sides are experienced Championship player. I've gone with Knock on one side and Albert Adoma on the other side.
Yeah, wow, that's...
Be interesting to see him come back. And up front, the man who was 16-17 Cardiff top goal scorer, now playing for West Bromwich Albion, Kenneth Zohore.
That is definitely a good 11 to keep an eye on. Those players certainly are going to shine for the club this year. Hopefully.
Some established names though in there as well.
Yeah.
For example, the unknowns like Jensen, but then the established ones like Kanaka and Adoma.
Yeah, and I've got a couple of established names in my one to watch 11. In goal is probably another one of those. Joe Lumley of QPR. He's impressed, but I feel like this is his time to kick on. Potentially get some suitors for either a top level championship or a bottom level Premier League club to come and get him. Centre half, I've gone West Brom's new signing, Semi Ajayi from Rotherham, who I feel like can comfortably fit into that system with some of the experienced players that we've got. Now I've gone with Ethan Pinnock just because I really liked him at Barnsley last season, and just being a League One watcher and a League One fan, I feel like he can really make the step up and be really comfortable in this league. Left back, I've gone Anthony Robinson, who had a loan spell at Wigan last year. Now he's signed on a permanent deal. I feel like if you're talking fullbacks, they had Reece James last year on the right. He really impressed. Maybe Robinson can follow in his footsteps. Right back, I've gone Connor Roberts at Swansea, who has impressed last season. I think he made about 20 odd appearances. But I feel like this is his time to really cement that slot as his own. Moving into the midfield, in defensive midfield, I've gone for Lewis Travis of Blackburn Rovers. Again, I think he made about 20 odd appearances last year. I feel like it's his time. I think he's 21 now. Really cement his place in that starting 11 and continue on some of the good progress he's made in his defensive work that he's done in the midfield. Alongside him in the midfield, I've gone for a Hull City player in Daniel Batty. Again, another one who's made around 20 odd appearances last season, looking to kick on, impress Grant McCann and really force his way into that midfield.
Just one thing about Dan Batty, unfortunately last year he lost his place. Another player that I could have added, he lost his place to this man. Kevin Stewart this year will be crucial in that defensive midfield role. Do continue, I apologise. Yeah,
and another one in the midfield, Luke Amos for QPR. He's just signed on a season-long loan from Tottenham. He's had loan spells in the lower leagues. I feel like it's ready and it's his time to make the step up. Moving into the front three, on the right, I've gone for an experienced head, Mark Pugh, returning to the Championship, this time permanently. And he's going to be a really good flair player for QPR. He's a really good creator. He's got an eye for goal at times. And I just feel like keep your eye on him because he could have a really good season.
And he costs nothing.
Yeah.
No one else picked him up when he cost nothing.
Yeah, on the left, I've gone for someone with a lot of potential. I've gone for Danny Loader. I mean, potentially, you can argue that he's more of a forward in the traditional sense, but I've decided I'm going to put him in the left on my team. So
I've got a left back at right back. Don't worry.
Don't cry. Yeah, he only got 1 goal, 1 assist last season, but I think he broke into the team when he was like 17. I think he's turned 18 now, and again, I don't expect him to be starting every game. I do expect him to, improve his impact in the side. He's having a shot a game, a dribble a game. He looks quite good. Then up front, I can't quite decide who to pick. I don't want to go with my League One, loyalties. If I am, then that'd be Lyle Taylor. We've talked about him in this podcast already. He's going to score goals. But I've actually gone for Carlin Grant. Again, as League One ties, Charlton last season. He got 14 League One goals last year and 4 Premier League goals. I feel like it's ready to bridge the gap and score 20 odd goals in the Championship, and that's my one to watch 11.
He impressed me, Callum Grant, to be honest. That game against West Ham, he was definitely impressive.
Yeah, I feel like he was a standout player in Huddersfield's side last year, and he was only there for 6 months.
Exactly, and on one thing again, and I know it's another Hull City player, Keane Lewis Potter could be really important this year, depending on...
I was going to say, if he can manage to, battle his way into the side.
Well, we're not spoiled for choice in attack. That's the thing. We've got Dicko, Eves, and Lewis Potter. There's definitely a place for him on a couple of occasions. Yeah. So, and from what I've seen in pre-season, good finisher. Link up with the academy boys, because I remember there was a goal where I think it was either Mackenzie or Fleming whipped it in and he got on the end of it. Be nice to see some of the academy boys get a chance. Yeah.
And I think that's a great place to end the podcast there. Let's hope that Sunderland beat Oxford this weekend. Come on, the boys.
Hope Hull beat Swansea as well. Up the Tigers.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic weekend of opening action throughout the EFL. And we thank you very much for joining us this Monday. the next 2 podcasts, our attention switches from the EFL to the Premier League.
Oh, the big boys are back next
the big
week.
boys, the money grabbers,
No more talking about Brentford, which is a shame for everyone.
The dark side of football is truly going to be upon this podcast. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you on Thursday for the Thursday team talk. And yeah, thanks for listening. Goodbye.